Once again, a very good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Neha Dubey, presenting the topic of managerial economics. The title of topic is cost analysis with the types. So let's start with the topic. In economics, the cost analysis refers to the measure of the cost output relationship. That is, the economists are concerned with the determining the cost incurred in hiring the inputs and how well these can be rearranged to increase the productivity of the firm. So basically, it is the relationship, the cost incurred when we are hired some inputs such as the labor, the raw material, etc., and how much we can produce. So the relationship between these two costs, or the relationship between the cost incurred and the output generated by the firm, is known as the cost analysis. In other words, the cost analysis is concerned with determining money value of inputs called as overall cost of the production, and which helps in deciding the optimum level of production. Now the different types of a cost are there: actual cost and the opportunity cost. Actual cost, it is also known as the outlay cost or the absolute cost. The name itself signifies it. The actual cost is that the actual amount of expenses incurred for producing or acquiring a good or services. These are the costs which are generally recorded in the books of accounts for the cost or the financial purposes, such as the payment of for the wages, the raw material purchase, etc. All are recorded in the financial books. So these are known as the actual cost. What is the opportunity cost? It is also known as the alternative cost. Why it is alternative cost? Because in this cost we have to choose the best alternative. So what do we mean by the best alternative? Before reading this, I'm giving you a simple example. If a kid or a small child have a exam, okay, exam tomorrow, he has to give some exam, and his mother said that you have to read against the matlab, you do not you have to continuous read for the exams, so that you can get the good marks, or against your good grades or good marks, I will provide you a some surprise or a gift for you. Okay, and the kid wanted to sleep also. Okay, so the kid selected that if I prepared for the my exam, so I will get the good marks, and against that good marks or good grades I will get some reward also. So he decided to select or he decided to study throughout the day, and after all, on the next day he will get the good grades, and he showed his mother that I will get the good marks, so you committed to give me some reward. So his mother provide you a gift of a bicycle. Okay, so what he has lost here? He lost to play, or you can say a sleep. So sleep or the playing time he lost. So the cost incurred in this activity is less as compared to getting the good reward or a good mark. So he choose the best alternative. So it is known as the opportunity cost. While choosing the best alternative, so the selected item benefit is more than the left item benefit. So it is known as the alternative or the opportunity cost. So now I can read here: the cost of a production of any unit of a commodity A is the value of the factors of a production used in producing the unit. The value of these factors of production is measured by the best alternative used, to which they might have been put had a unit of A not been produced, okay, which he lost. Okay, so it means if he choose to play all the time, so he are not able to study well, and if he are not able to study well, so he cannot able to get good marks, and for that he has to sacrifice with the reward or the bicycle which he get after the good grades. Okay, so this is known as the opportunity cost. The opportunity cost refers to the expected return from the second best alternative use of the resources that are foregone due to the scarcity of the resources, such as the land, labor, capital, etc. In other words, the opportunity cost is the opportunity lost due to the limited resources. Here, the what is the limited resources? the time. Okay, the 1 day left for the exam, so the time is limited for that boy, so he has to select whether he choose to study or whether he choose to play. So due to the limited resources, he has to take only one option, and for taking the one option, other has to be left, or the other option which he left has the can give the benefit less as the best second one which he selected, that can give the best benefit. So now the past cost and the future cost is what? The past costs are costs which have been actually incurred in the past, and they are the beyond the control of management because they are already incurred. Means the past which already done or which already incurred, it cannot be rectified, or it cannot be modified, or it cannot be cut down. Okay, so it is known as the past cost. But the future costs are based on the forecasting. The costs relevant for most managerial decisions are forecast of a future cost or the comparative conjunctions concerning the future situation. The forecasting of a future cost is required for expense control, the projection of a future income statement, appraisal of the capital expenditure, decision on a new projects and or on an expansion program, and the pricing. Means if the firm wanted to, for example, if firm wanted to expand their product line. Okay, so with of course, if we expand their programs, so he has the firm has to be incurred some pricing. So this is the future cost. Means if I have a firm and I have to decide certain things, so I can forecast the things whether it will be a good or not to open or to incur that cost in present situations. So this is known as the future cost. Means in short, we can say that the past cost cannot be corrected or cannot be controlled. Rather, the future cost can be rectified or modified or controlled as it is based on the forecasting or future expectations. Now, the explicit cost or the implicit cost. The total cost of a production of any particular goods can be said to include expenditure or explicit cost and non-expenditure or the implicit cost. In short, the explicit cost known as the expenditure cost, or implicit cost known as the non-expenditure cost. Now expenditure, or it can also say the outlay or the explicit cost, are those costs which are paid by the employer to the owners of the factors units which do not belong to the employer itself. These costs are in the nature of a contractual payments, and they consist of the wages, salaries paid, payment for the raw materials, interest on borrowed capital funds, rent on a hired land, and taxes paid to the government. Means this is the cost or the expenses which occurred by the, or which deals by the employer. Employer has to pay to whom? The owner of the that factor. Means if I have a firm and I am the employer, means I am the employer, so I have to pay the labor charges to labor are the factors. Okay, the salaries to my employees. If I hire the land, so I have to pay rent. So this is known as the expenditure cost or the explicit cost. Now the non-expenditure or the implicit cost is, it arises when the factor units are owned by the employer itself. Means only of mine, the factors which are related to myself. The employer is not obligated to any time in order to obtain these factors. So the expenditure costs are explicit since they are paid to the factors outside the firm, while the non-expenditure or the implicit costs are the imputed cost. But the latter are the costs in the real sense of the term, since the factor units owned by the organizer himself can be supplied to the other producers for a contractual sum if they are not used in the business of the organizers. Okay, so if I wanted to purchase a land or the things which are related to myself only or the firm self only, so it is known as the implicit cost. Now the incremental and the sunk cost. Incremental, increasing. The sunk, the synchronized. So it is the additional cost due to the change in the label or the nature of a business activity. The change may take several forms. Example, addition of a new product line. Okay, now incremental itself said additional cost. Additional cost occurred due to the change in the certain plans or the certain things which already occurred in a business activity. Addition of the new product line is one of the factor. The changing the channel of distribution, the next one factor. Adding a new machine. If I wanted to purchase the new machine, okay, so I have to pay more cost. Adding a replacing a machine by a better one, or the expansion into the additional markets, etc. The question of this type of a cost would not arise when a business has to be set up afresh. It arises only when a change is contemplated in the existing businesses, because the startup businesses already has to be taken care of the all the costs. So it is not considered as an incremental cost, because the startups start from the 0 point, or they have to arrange all the things as a starting purpose. Okay, now the sunk cost is the one which is not affected or the altered by a change in the label or the nature of a business activity. It will remain the same whatever the level of activity may be. For example, the amortization of the past expenses, depreciation, means whatever the nature of a business, but depreciation has to be bear. Why? Because the machinery has to be depreciated, or the assets are the fixed assets are has to be depreciated. That is known as the sunk cost. Now the short run and the long run cost. The short run costs are the costs that vary with the output or the sales when fixed plant and the capital equipment remain the same, and the long run costs are those which vary with the output when all the output factors including the plant and equipment vary. So the term says short run and the long run, but it cannot fixed with the certain years. Means we cannot say that the 5 years is the short run or the 20 years is the long run. No, we cannot say. It is based on the basically the project basis. Maybe the some projects having the short life, or some projects has a very wide life. Means we can say the 25-year project, or the 30-year, the 20-year project, or some project are a very important but a 5 year. So the funda is that only the short run the cost or the long run cost is that when during the short run, means if the firm is dealing with certain projects, so they cannot change very frequently the assets or the technology or the important things. So the cost cannot vary with the frequently. Okay, the fixed things like the plant or the capital equipment remain the same. But during the long run, maybe if the firm is working on the certain project which have the life of 25 years, for example, or the 10 years, okay, and the technology has to be upgraded. So have to be the company have to be upgrade yourself that self. So it is known as the long run cost. The short run and the long run is not varied only with the time period. It varied with the certain project, because during the short run or during the that time span of that particular project, the fixed assets cannot vary frequently, and during the long run the chances of depreciation or the chances of the upgrading of the technology is required. That's why they have to be vary. That's why it is known as the long run cost. The short run costs become relevant when a firm has to decide whether to produce more or not in the immediate future, and when setting up of a new plant is ruled out and the firm has to manage with the existing plant. Okay, this is the short run. Okay, which I told you in the previous example. And the long run costs become the relevant when the firm has to decide whether to set up a new plant or not. So the long run cost can help the businessman in planning the best scale of a plant or the best size of the firm for his purpose. So thus the long run cost can be helpful both in the initiation of the new enterprises as well as for the expansion of the existing ones. So this is from my side for the today's lecture. Thank you. Have a nice day. We will meet you with the continuation of these types of a cost in a next lecture. Till now, take care. Bye-bye.